Dan, I would like to ask you to give us a sense of the overall picture here that we're looking at on Tuesday, the June 14th and beyond. We've got 3 questions, all of which are dealing with issues of school enrollment or providing education for our students. People are having a hard time getting their minds around how quickly these things have arisen, at least in public perception. So do you feel, as somebody who has been involved at every level of this process for a while, that our appointed and elected officials have explored all the available options, and that those presented on the ballot are indeed the best of the available options for Arlingtonians?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think for I'd say that the questions that we're looking at are a combination of unexpected, as in, I mean, things that have arisen relatively recently, and some things that are very expected, that have been on the roadmap for a very long time, that we knew we were going to have to manage as a town. So elementary enrollment has definitely grown faster than expected. In that problem rose up, in the grand scheme of town things that appear over a couple or 3 years are very fast moving. Things that are the problems the town faces tend to be a lot slower moving than that. And so the work that we're doing at the Thompson and the need to provide more middle school space, those are relatively surprising. We knew that they were coming a year ago. We didn't know that they were coming 3 years ago. On the other hand, the high school, and the Arlington High School and Minuteman High School are both things that have been on the books for a long time. We know, we've known that we're going to need to invest in Minuteman. We know that we're going to need to invest in the Arlington High School. I think it's also probably worth looking forward even down the road a little bit farther and to say, if these things are on our ballot today, what's going to be coming down the road? And so the second question that we're voting on June 14th is to do planning for the Arlington High School. We want to spend $2 million on planning. And then with state assistance, meaning they're going to pay a third or whatever of the bill, we're going to rebuild the Arlington High School, and we're going to have to pay for that as well. So it's hard to say exactly when the ballot question is going to be. Is it going to be 18 months? Is it going to be 2 years? Is it going to be 3 years? But at some point, the plans are going to be ready, and we're going to say, okay, voters, we need to rebuild the high school. Do you agree? Will you pay for it? And that's going to be another ballot question. And that one, frankly, compared to these 3, is going to be
this is chump change, right?
These are real, but that one's going to be a lot bigger. And then even still after that, we're going to have to talk about doing, instead of a debt exclusion, we're going to have to talk about doing an operating override. Because as I'm sure you remember, Arlington in was it 2011? I'm sorry, so in 2006, we voted a 5-year plan. And that 5-year plan included an operating override and a promise not to increase taxes, which we kept, not just for 5 years, but we kept it for 6 years. And then we launched a new plan, which we did another operating override, and we said it would last for 3 years. And we're in year 5, and it's still working. But that won't work forever. It's lasted longer than we thought because of a bunch of good things that worked out in our favor. But unfortunately, somewhere down the road, there's going to be another question where we come forward and we say, in order to keep paying for the teachers and keep paying for the public safety and keep paying for these things, we're going to need an override. So while I definitely want everyone to support the questions on June 14th, I also want you to keep an eye out on the future and understand that this is not the last time that we're going to be talking to voters over the next several years.
Dan, very much appreciate your explaining.
I was happy to be here. Thank you.
The big picture for us. Appreciate that very much. And hopefully that will make it easier for all of you to go into the voting booth on Tuesday, June 14th, and make an informed decision about this aspect of Arlington's future. For Dan Dunn, I'm James Milan. Thanks for joining us.